Hello everyone, myself Ravinder Kaur, Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering in Khalsa College of Engineering and Technology, Amritsar. We are discussing in the lecture of the water supply engineering. We will talk about the water quality and its treatment. We will be focusing more about the basic of the water quality and what is the philosophy of the water treatment for the urban water supply system. So in this lecture we will be discussing on the water quality and the water pollutant, and what we are going to cover is about the quality of water, and then how water quality varies as per source, and what are the various sources of the water pollution. Then we will be talking about nature and types of water pollutant, and what are the routes of exposure of water pollutant and acute and chronic pollution effects, which we will cover in this particular lecture. To begin, with, as discussed earlier, also get back again to the basic right of water has been adopted by United Nations. So this human right of water, everyone without discrimination of sufficient, safe, acceptable, physically accessible, affordable water. So there are the five aspects which needs to be satisfied. The water should be made available in the sufficient quantity, in the safe condition, in the acceptable condition. It should be physically accessible and it should be economically affordable. So we did discuss about quantity aspects of the water availability, how we estimate the demand, which is more so about the adequate in term the quantity or the sufficient of water. Now what we are going to discuss about other two aspects, which is safe and acceptable. Both of these are in some way or other related to the quality of water. Safe, essential means safe. It should be safe to consume, so it should not contain any such substance which can impart any harm or any toxic to the consumer, so that is safe. There should not be a toxic chemical, there should not be a microbial which leads to some disease like waterborne disease. Water should be safe from pollutant which have adverse effect on the consumer, and it should be acceptable, which means that the water is given to us maybe chemically or biological safe, but if it is a colored water having turbidity or sediment are not considered and acceptable for drinking purpose. Some does not like to drink water which has certain color. The color might be perfectly safe. We do not use a lot of food colors which are safe or consumed, which are safe or consumers. But if somebody asks for a glass of water and it has certain color, the person immediately take care to drink it. You can drink colored juice or soft drinks, but when it comes to drink plain water, its natural condition is more or less colorless. Therefore, acceptability is safe and accept is more or less to the quality of water, which we'll be discussing in this lecture. While quantity of supply, while quantity or quality of supplied water should ensure that the quality of supplied water should ensure the public health safety, means disease causes from microbial and chemicals. The water expects except the water except from the source may not be usable quality directly. The water which we have in lakes, rivers, these days are not of the quality which can be directly drinked. In order to make this water suitable or good enough for the consumption, we need to improve its quality, which is usually done by providing treatment. Further, the objective of the further the objective of the municipal water supply system is to provide water which meet the drinking water standards which are set up by different regularity authorities. Like in India, we have IBS, Bureau of Indian Standard. Drinking water standards like water supplied should ideally meet those standards. Similarly, there are the different standards for the different nation and international standards, which we will discuss as later. As the source water generally does not meet the drinking water quality standards, we need treatment of water for making it good or improving it to meet drinking the quality standards before it is supplied to the consumer. So next is the quality of the water. Now we talk about the quality of water. We see here a couple of water bodies. One look pretty clean and other looks pretty dirty. Viewing these, one can say the dirty water body has some problem than the other which is clean. Ideally, by viewing the image itself, one can say that the quality of the water in these two sources are different. Similarly, different water source may have different quality of water. It is just two surface. It is just two surfaces, but if you take two different groundwater source, you do not accept the same quality of the water lying in these source. We actually may be leading with the different quality of water when we tap different source. And many times the pollutants are strikingly different when we tap different source. The pollutants available in groundwater may totally be different to the available in the surface water. Surface water are more likely to have more sediment, and the groundwater may have other types of chemicals like geogenic contaminants, like various metals like arsenic, fluorides are more popular in the groundwater contaminant. Depending on the source of water may have different characteristics of water. Now we now when we talk about the improvement of water quality, we are generally taking of improval of pollutant present in water. Pollutants come in the water through various sources of water. Pollution generally from the water, and these sources are broadly classified into the point sources and non-point sources. Non-point sources of the pollution essentially means the pollutant entering into the water is not the point at which the pollutant enters is not a fixed. Basically, it is diffused or dispersed surface. Like in agriculture runoff, when the field is irrigated, we see several small grains or patches from where water leaks through through and may go into the river or urban runoff or atmospheric deposition along with rain. Pollutants get deposited and they do not come at one specific point. Rather, they are dispersed and distributed over the area. These types of sources are called known point source of pollution. The point surface of the pollution are one which are more specific and are introduced at one particular point, like in industries. Water discharge from all the process and come to the final point where the industry release its waste water or effluent. So these release point or effluent is phased, which is called a point surface, yeah, source. Several lines connected with sewage of the entire city and bringing it to a treatment facility, either fully or partially. Or treated sewage is again being released to the river or lake water bodies. When it is released from the STB or sewage treatment facility is released one single point, the discharge of STP is a point source. If seen in the above image, if you can see in the image, the oil spills incoming from the oil tanker is actually a point source, especially being released at the one point. These are the sum of the example point source and discussed. There are many point sources. There are in there are in fact varieties of point source as well as known point source which may contribute and the various types of pollutant of the water. We can get pollutants coming from the agriculture, industrial, municipal, natural sources, and nature and characteristics of the pollutants also vary sustainably. If we see the nature and the type of pollutants, we can classify or characterize them on the basis of different aspect. If characterized or classify on the basis of the source, we can have industrial pollutant are the one being released from industries, mostly the chemicals. There are the varieties of the chemical used in the industry during their process in the manufacturing, and these chemicals are released back into the environment and the water bodies, leading to a lot of industrial pollutant in the water. Major rivers are all of these pollutants, like there are the several places where the industrial effluent goes into the river Ganga. The tanneries or leather industries and downstream to the Kanpur release its waste in the river Ganga. But while the water reaches to Allahabad or Prayag, the water is abstracted at Prayag for domestic and municipal supply purpose. The release of contaminant downstream to the Kanpur may travel to the point of abstracted water of industrial contaminant present in the water, which being abstracted to the municipal supply. This way the industrial pollutant may come into the water, which is treated and supplied, and if the treated is adequate, they may actually end up going to the consumer's tap and eventually entering into the food chain of the consumers. The risk is always there. The industrial pollutants are mostly chemicals and could be actually varieties of chemicals depending on the process of the industries. If talking about the textile, there are a lot of dye, phenols, etc. Leather industry release compound like chromium based compound may release very high COD. There are the varieties of chemicals which come in form of industrial pollutants. Similarly, the agriculture pollutants, these are predominantly chemical like fertilizers, pesticides when applied to the agriculture field after event of rainfall or excessive irrigation. They may find a way to the water bodies or may in fact reach the groundwater, like water pumps come into the water. In this way, agriculture pollutants are also toxic chemicals like pesticides or nutrients which water like nitrogen, phosphorus compounds. Agriculture pollutants also could be sand, silt, or sediment which wash out from sand, which may add a lot of suspended silt as well. In urban pollutant, the sewage that we release from one household, so some of we release lot of pollutants. Some are treated in STP and some are not, and eventually find their way. So there are natural pollutants which are very difficult to control, like geogenic or biogenic pollutant, and quite a few of groundwater contaminants including various heavy metal like iron, arsenic, fluoride, nitrogen, nitrates, some radioactive compounds as well may come from the nature sources. These natural sources like bio, biogenic or geogenic are introduced by natural process. Based on these sources, we may have variety of pollutant, and it is not one pollutant will be exclusive in one category. So in this, so in an example is which may be used in the agriculture field or household, they may come under the agriculture pollutant with the same compound, and composition of the chemical may also come in urban pollutants, and also may come in industrial pollutants because it is being eventually produced in industries. The waste released by industries produce pesticides, will have pesticides in industrial pollutants, and when those pesticides applied on agriculture field, the agriculture runoff pesticides will have in agriculture pollutant, and some compound or some of its fraction may used in some urban setup as well as for gardening or pest in households. Then it comes in urban pollutant as well. This may we can have different type of pollutant from where they come into the water as the source in a pollutant. Similarly, we have different class of pollutant in their physical and chemical properties. There may be physical property generally which has physical attribute like color, sediment, pH. These kinds of pollutants which have physical attribute are essentially physical attribute pollutant. Chemical pollutants are the chemical present in water, and biological pollutants are microbial pollutants present like virus, bacteria, fungi come in the class or the biological pollutant. Chemical pollutants are the variety of the organic, inorganic chemicals which may be present in the water. As said, there are also physical pollutant in the form of sediment or turbidity, etc. The pollutant may be classified based on their nature of the degradation. More so over, particularly the chemical pollutant may be degradable or non degradable in the nature. The degradable natures of pollutant are one of which get decomposed in the natural system. In the natural system of the chemical or biochemical reaction, in organic matter like sugar, glucose are present in the water, and if left for some period, the microbes present in the water will decompose or degrade, or such compound may take part of chemical decomposition through hydrolysis or um, hydrolysis or photooxidation and get degraded in water. These compounds are called degradable pollutants because they get degrade or decomposed in the water. So majority of the organic matter are of this nature. These are also known as non-conservative pollutant because they cannot conserve their mass, so they get decomposed into the smaller products. If suppose if a compound A get converted to B or C or other smaller byproduct, the compound A will not remain as in water. It is not able to conserve its mass. We may have chain or pathway. When monitored on A at any time T, so T is equal to 0, monitored some concentration A naught, but as the time progress, the concentration keep on decreasing, which mean the compound A is not able to conserve its conserves its mass, so it is called non-conservative pollutant because it gets degraded when composed in the medium. So these pollutants are called reactive pollutants because they take in the reaction and as a result it get decomposed. So whereas opposite is the non degradable pollutant, which are also known as conservative or non reactive pollutant. Non reactive will not take part in these chemical reaction. If A does not take any part, then it remains as A, thus conserving its entire mass, so they are called conservative pollutant or non degradable pollutant because they do not get degrade in the medium. If pollutant which come in the water medium and get decomposed and the decomposition could be to complete scale of mineralization. After complete mineralization, they get into the product like CO2, H2O and N2. Eventually this is not contaminated and this escape into atmosphere, thereby not getting any toxic effect more or less out of the products except release of CO2, carbon dioxide, which is greenhouse gas. This kind of compound get release, degrade in water, are not a major threat as water pollutant because they get decomposed or degrade in the system, although the time may be high or low. This need to explore in more detail on the time taken to degrade, while conservative pollutants are of more threat because if there is arsenic, iron or certain pesticides present in the water taking part in any reaction in water. These remain in the water further may converting into the form of metal or elements, but metals like arsenic, iron will remain in water until and unless it is removed by some other mechanism or some any process, because natural decomposition reaction will not remove compound. If there is antibiotic or pesticides which are not possible to get degraded by microorganisms, it may remain in the same or much larger period because it does not react with anything, as it is a non-reactive or non degradable compound or conserve its mass, causing major threat as it is difficult to remove these compound in water. And and more so over, natural product does not work on removal and need to relied upon alternate system. In this way the pollutants can be classified into different aspects. If if you see the major types of the water pollution, the most common water pollution is pharmaceutical, fluorides, pesticides, pathogens, metals, dyeing, which may be present in water. If classified the pollutant list, we have biodegradable waste, which source will run off, improperly treated effluent, and the and the symptoms and the symptoms would be of increase in bacteria and decrease in the growth of aquatic life, right? There are the nutrients which have nitrates and phosphates. Next is heat, which increases water temperature. Sedimentation related to suspended particles, and chemical which are toxic. And next is hazardous coming from source of industries. So next is radioactive pollutants coming from hospitals, industries, factories, or geogenic sources, adding radioisotopes to the system. So next is from medical source, medicines like medicines, antibiotics, microbiology are bacteria, viruses, protozoa from the different source. In this way we have different classes of water. This is another. So so there are the pathogenic organisms, solid waste, degradable organic matter, organ pesticides, biofilm, detergent, phenol, inorganic acid, lead, cadmium, phosphates, arsenic are the different kind of waste coming into the water from different kinds of source like household, industrial sources and distribution that come in the environment, particularly the water environment polluted. So once these pollutants are released in the water, they enter in the food chain, affecting the human certain routes of exposure. The common route of exposure to the environment pollutant, the common routes of the exposure to the environment pollutant are in inhale, inhale or injection, dermal routes. These are the three major routes basically from which we get exposed to the pollutants. There is another route of pollutant which is transferred across where the woman transfer these pollutant to the baby while giving the birth, acquiring certain kind of pollutant, but this is a major route. This is a major route. So next is the major routes through which one get exposed: inhale, injection and dermal. Now inhale is the important for the air pollutant because we don't inhale water. Inhale is the important route of aquatic animals for water pollution because they inhale water. It has basically some value to them, but for the human this route will not apply for water pollutant but prevalent for the air pollutant. The injection and dermal route are the major route which get exposed to the pollutants. It is typically either injection or dermal. Injection or oral route is basically effective when it is consumed contaminated water directly or prepared through the food item using contaminated water. The contaminated enter through the food chain, while the dermal or skin route, which result skin contact with contaminated water during bathing, washing or swimming. It leads to expose of these contaminants where inhalation inhale route is not relevant and transfer of the mm, major route or minor routes. So once we get exposed of these pollutants, they may have different kind of effect on those, and two major classes of effects are based on two types of exposure which are acute and chronic. Chronic. So acute exposure is a short time relatively uh, acute exposure is a short time relatively high level of contaminant when exposed to high level of contaminant of the short period, resulting into the symptom arising in quick time. Quick time happening in a few days are considered to acute exposure or effect. This can be exposed to any time of contaminant in much shorter period. For example, drinking water of 3 to 4 days old, right? Or having some microbial growth contained with pathogen. Clear? Having some microbial growth contained with pathogen, and if consumed it so and if consumed will lead if consumed with lead to fever, etc. The majority the epidemic or waterborne disease are the example of acute effect. As one get exposed to the contaminated water will affect serve in the shorter span of the time, whereas chronic effects are generally results for long term exposure for relatively low level of contaminant. For example, there are issues related to groundwater like fluoride, arsenic, various antibiotic or pesticides present in water which are not treated properly and are consumed by humans. If there is high content of fluoride, uh, varies the range is 2 to 3 milligram per liter, whereas prescribed limit of fluoride is 1 to 1.5 milligram per liter. Clear? If consumed high fluoride or pesticides containing high ppm part per million high ppm part per million, which is not permitted, and the drinking immediately will not fall sick, as people are seen consuming from year together, which is of kind smoking a cigarette, as smoking is injurious to the health, but does not matter when they consume a single cigarette and will not fall sickly. It takes time for year, might require 10 to 20 years to show some effects. Clear? So if takes time for the year, like require 10 to 20 years to show some effects. Same is with the water pollutant. Drinking fluoride, arsenic or pesticides contaminated water on the regular basis for a period of 5 to 20 years, partly it gets slowly accumulated in the body and reaches the level where it damage organ, leading of cancer effects, carcinogenic, carcinogenic effect. So the chronic effect will not be noticed immediately, takes long time to detect these chronic effects because the nature of effect could be cancer, obstructive disease, neurological problem. Nature has a serious effects. It is hard to rectify and difficult to treat and serve those effects. As the result lead to more serious effects than the acute pollution effect generally, and other features are not often confined to the small area. So clear? Because these chronic pollutants are such that suppose pesticides or arsenic available in the groundwater, and countries like Bangladesh are consumed and get affected in the early stages about 5 to 10 years depending upon their availability to affecting the human being. Therefore a large population is at the risk with these pollutants because because they are not often confined to the small area and may go undetected for a long period. People do not know that they do not have certain effect to the chronic exposure. For example, if person drink contaminated water since 1965, in the year 1980 has started showing minor effects, and when we reaches to the 1990, he is on the bed and is hard to serve. In this way, the chronic exposure is far more serious but very difficult to detect and control, whereas acute exposures are easy to detect and treated as they occur for a short span of time. So these are the difference of the chronic and acute exposures. If the dose of the acute exposure consumption is high, like of high level of pesticides, because a poison which is hard to serve, otherwise may the acute exposure such as water borne disease which are contaminated water, like is cured. This can be detected and managed, but chronic exposure are difficult to detect and treat. There are the some of the way which we get exposed and kind of effect that have on this. So chronic pollution is often non-confined to a small area. Also, it may to get undetected for a long time and is more difficult to rectify than an acute pollution effects. So that's all for this class. We will be so we are and today's topic. Thank you for joining. Have a great time.